Ladies and gentlemen, the Kaisa from Carzzy. These two don't need an introduction, and what do I mean with these two? He's today playing against Magi Felix. He was one of the biggest, if not the biggest prodigies that I've ever heard of, and he's faced in a matchup that is actually kind of favorable for him. I mean, Magi Felix, you have got yourself a Karma against a Blitzcrank, so hypothetically, if you play this correctly, there shouldn't be that much problems going on the lane, but let's see what will actually happen. We will going to watch this game from the Carzzy's perspective. You can already see that this matchup is going to be bombastic, since there is a long sword and 3 potions for both of these sides actually. So perhaps there will be a lot of trades, and that I am quite sure of. Are they going to try for the early level advantage? Well, let's see. Well, it perhaps won't be possible when you see, and okay, already coming on with a hook onto her face, and this perhaps, he perhaps might be just run down, since Karma will use her mantra, and this is exactly what has happened. Perfect cleanse from this Ignite, exactly, and being already chunked by this margin of health for sure is enjoyable. And if we were both to ask him, is this situation pleasurable for you, he would probably say, ah man, no. And I mean, I fully understand him, quite honestly. I will just get these timestamps out of the way. And the challenger players, what you will often find them do is that they will push a very big wave onto their tower and try to do something with the jungler, and this might be perhaps a Belvet coming on from the behind, and now with the hook he wasn't quite able to get this, and Carzzy be getting chunked once again. A perfect tethering from Magi Felix. It is a true display of skills. And now once again coming on from Magi Felix, having already this ward here. This is exactly what I'm telling you guys. These challenger players, this is a fully challenger player lobby. It's actually kinda stacked, and what you will find very often these challenger players do is that they will just do this big wave into them and come onto the enemy with the jungler. So this is something that often happens, and since this is a free 15 minute, now you have to watch out double for the jungler, because the free 15, guys, you have to remember this. 3:15 is around the timer when the junglers are trying to do certain actions, and perhaps the Belvet is already on the river trying to do something. I mean, this perhaps will be a small fight on the bottom side, and now Ashe using already her ghost. This is very suspicious behavior from her, but don't let me judge that. I mean, I'm just a random guy. And wait a minute, the Karma is already in the bush, I mean in the enemy jungle, and this perhaps will be a hook, a very good hook from Blitzcrank. Holy moly, he's just an American sniper with these hooks, but does it really matter if he's an American sniper if 2 of your teammates die? I mean, the Tristana has got 2 kills right now, so I don't think that this is quite an enjoyable experience. And what you can see is that there is that he just backed off. And since there was 2 minions advantage for the side of Magi Felix, it means that this wave will push towards him. Even though this wave is not exactly in the middle, it will still push towards him, so you didn't quite have to push this. Alright, so since I explained this, it doesn't really matter now. What does matter is that Belvet is going just to farm a lot, and she will perhaps have a huge advantage over this Rammus, so Rammus has to do something on the map. He has to try certain plays, he has to go for the advantage in the, not perhaps early game, but just an advantage overall, trying to do something for the laners. And wait a minute, now Blitzcrank coming on with his hook, hitting him once again, and is this perhaps going to be a second kill for Carzzy? And this is exactly what has happened. I mean, I don't quite think that Magi Felix is content with the situations he has found himself in, since Blitzcrank is doing an enormous amount of pressure on this lane with his hooks, and once again coming, is he going to catch this once again? And just a tiny miss. But yeah, also you have got as Kaisa a huge amount of burst damage, and since you have got this amount of burst damage, Once the Blitzcrank hits his Q onto someone with Kier Chase Shard, this is this item, Kier Chase Shard, exactly, you can almost one-shot this, and you have seen this already with Karma. She was just... She was here, and then she was no longer here. Kinda like my father when he said that he's going to buy some milk. This is the exact same situation with Karma. And Kai'Sa has got now 10 CS more. I mean, building up this huge wave, and I'm really wondering what are they going to do. Is this Rammus perhaps going to roam here and try to secure this dragon? Are they going to... No, so they're just going for the plate? What is going on? I'm not actually sure, but now with a hook he actually managed to miss this, and this will be perhaps a very dangerous situation since he's already here coming with a flash, double flash from both the ADCs, and this will be a very dangerous situation. Now perhaps Perlvet is going to die, but not, since she got shielded, and this will be probably just a disengage. He has once again his hook. What is DCD on Blitzcrank's hook? I thought that his hook CD is like 20 seconds? It's 16 seconds, but still, he was just hitting Belvet here with his hook, and now he has it again. And what this means for Magifelix is that he's just going to the grave for the second time in this game in 7 minutes. It surely doesn't look like a pleasurable situation for them. And now let's see, they're perhaps going to just take this cannon and then back off. I mean, it perhaps would make sense. And now wait a minute, Karma is coming off once again with the flash, with the ignite, but now Ashe comes on with the ghost. And is this perhaps going to be a kill? She now has to use her E and maybe tether that much. Well, is she going to escape? No, the absolutely last auto attack didn't actually allow her. And now you have got a 1v1 situation with the... He had such a brilliant idea. It was such good because he actually managed to outflash the W from Ashe. But his idea was probably to just do a auto attack into E, and this would have been a kill. But well, since it didn't happen, it doesn't really matter because now Ashe has got 2 kills. But ladies and gentlemen, the Carzzy's Kai'Sa has got a static shift. So it doesn't really make that much of a difference, and now he will probably get his level 6 and try to do something, and this is exactly what he does now. Using his W, he actually managed to hit this and going on with his ability, with his ultimate ability, cleaning off Magifelix bounty. Holy moly. Having 5 kills already, he's going to be certainly a pain in the ass, and this is the static shift build, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what I mean with static shift, when you are Kai'Sa and you go AP, it's not exactly AP, but it's like the semi-AP build. What I mean by that is that you go static shift into Nashorstuf, into, I think it was Ginso's third, and then you have into Ginso's third, or you can do a Phantom Dancer as the third item. Both are viable apparently. And then as fourth you can do like maybe Zonia, maybe Rabadons, maybe Banshees. So there are quite some options here, and you delay your boots for whatever reason. I think it was once calculated on Twitter that it doesn't make actually sense to buy boots since you are just slowing yourself down, but I gotta just take their words for them because I haven't been playing that much Kai'Sa. I mean, I have got like 100k on her, but it's still, I mean, I kinda enjoy playing her because playing Kai'Sa is overall a very enjoyable experience, especially AP, man. Because with AP, this playstyle that you have, you're just sitting behind and nuking the enemies with your Ws. Like, what is more enjoyable than just nuking your enemies with your Ws from behind so that they aren't able to do anything, and then even if you lose, let's say that you lose with an AP Kai'Sa, which is your fault, let's stick at that. Even if you lose, you just go to the post-game analysis and then you see like 100k damage, but wait a minute, now Rammus comes to the bot lane and they are perhaps going to try to kill this Magifelix, and this is exactly what they actually managed to do. 2-4 for Magifelix. Smelling the roses from the underground once again. I mean, I guess since this is the thing about supports, right? That the supports player just don't care about the lane. And with they don't care about the lane is that this is exactly what has happened here. Karma actually just left Magifelix to die. She just went to help this Tristana. And she helped this Tristana, Magifelix was dead, and well, it doesn't really matter. Do you know why it doesn't matter? Because they just leave ADCs be. They don't care about us, how Michael Jackson said this. And wait a minute, now coming on with the flash, no, with the ultimate, and now the second ultimate coming from Tristana. I thought that this will be just a kill, but perhaps I overcalculated certain things, and with the award of 200 additional gold, it would have been nice to kill her. But, well, you can't have anything in your life. And wait a minute now, this is perhaps going to be another dive? I mean, everyone is coming bot and using his cleanse at the exact right time, and Rammus coming on. Magifelix has now to flash once again, but it doesn't really matter because you can flash whatever you want, but you can't outflash the death. And you can't outflash like 3 people under your tower. It's quite literally impossible. You have got no room to go. And since you are just an AD carry left to die, well, it sucks for you, man. What can I say? I mean, if I were playing this guys, I would have been like, who's better ADC? Woo. For sure, it's me. Yeah, but I mean, at a certain level, it's just all about the team management, right? I mean, even though you're winning bot lane, your mid lane is kinda losing. So, I mean, this Echo isn't doing that great for himself. But your Kai'Sa has got 7 kills, so perhaps this will be something that... Wait a minute, now Velvet coming on the bot lane. I mean, yeah, you have to perhaps just simply go back. So, yeah. Now you have got your Codex and Blasting Wand. So this will for sure be Nashor Stoof, and with Nashor Stoof you have such a tremendous amount of damage with your Q. Wait a minute now, coming on with her ultimate from Ashe, and this will be perhaps a 3v3 situation. Everyone is just coming back. Wait a minute now, 4v3 using his ultimate. Rammus has to perhaps go back, and are they going to re-engage? I mean, we see this Echo. Is Echo trying to do something? I mean, he doesn't have his ultimate, so perhaps not. But wait a minute now. He missed his hook. I'm like the Henry Cavill, right? Exactly. Alright, but since you have got 7 kills and you almost got a Nashor Stoof, this game will be very interesting for you. Because once you got your Nashor Stoof, you have got your W like every 7 seconds. So, I mean, once you hit, you got every 7 seconds. And it isn't a skippable amount of damage. And already getting... I mean... He's just getting constantly dove, man. This game doesn't feel fair. But, yeah, I mean, perhaps your fault for staying under the tower? Play safe, they said. I mean, yeah, it happens sometimes. But now Carzzy is perhaps just going to go back to the base, buy his Nashor Stoof, and rotate mid lane? Or what is the plan here? I mean, the Herald is spawning really soon. And since you don't have got your mana, you have to respect Tristana's presence. And yeah, this is exactly what is going to happen since... Well, there's a Herald spawning and a Drake spawning really soon, so perhaps just going back, buying Nashor Stoof, going mid lane, and then what? I mean, you can opt for this Herald, or perhaps you could go for this Drake. I'm not quite sure how this Echo will stand up for himself here. I mean, is this going to be a dive, perhaps? Since they are taking the Herald, it might actually mean that they are just giving up the Drake. Okay, and now Magifelix being once again in a very uncomfortable position, perhaps getting caught once again, and this is exactly what has happened. I mean, these hooks from him. Blitzcrank just surprises me sometimes. I mean, these hooks are very on point. I mean, yeah, he's a challenger player. This is a full challenger lobby, so this is something to consider. But still, I mean, the thing about Blitzcrank is that you can be silver, you can be challenger. If you don't hit your hook, it doesn't matter. You're still kinda bad. So yeah, there is that to consider. And wait a minute. Now Tristana just killed this Echo under the tower. Didn't he have his like ultimate? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and she just wait, what? So she didn't escape? I mean, why didn't she just go into this literal brush and just press B? I mean, she went here, which meant for her that she's just going to die. And I don't like what is Carzzy doing here. Yeah, and you can already see this Velvet. Is he going to kill her? I mean, 10 level for 10, and perhaps this might be a kill for him. And now using his another flash, 2 flashes from the enemy, and well, 2v1, you can't exactly outplay this. You can't lie to the face of death. It sounds very poetic. Yeah. Where did I hear it from? Nowhere, I just made it up. And wait a minute now, it's 3v3 situation going on the bottom side of the river. Now Rammus has got to disengage, and perhaps this Blitzcrank is going to get caught, and this is exactly what he is doing now. Both have to wait a minute. What? Huh? What? Okay, so Echo actually managed to escape. Wait a minute, now Karma is perhaps going to catch him. Nah, they don't care that much. I mean, yeah, it kinda makes sense. Echo has got also some nice amount of burst damage, so if you are in the little range as Karma is or the Velvet is, you just don't want to fudge around and find out, right? And Kaisa has got now the level 11. But still, something that you have to keep in mind as you're playing ADC is that you're behind in level against every single solo laner. And why is that so important? Because a level in League of Legends is an equivalent of around, wait a minute now, is he going to get caught? Nah, he's just escaping, using his ghost. Because one level is equivalent of like 1200 gold. So it's like 4 kills. So even if you are 2 kills and like some CS ahead, it still doesn't matter because just XP is so much more valuable. And what I can tell you for certain is that if this Kaisa were to jump onto this Tristana in this particular moment, she would have been just cancelled. I mean, her life would have been cancelled, if you can use that phrase like this. I'm not quite sure, okay? I'm not exactly an English speaker. And okay, so now just coming onto the mid lane. What is very questionable for me is that he doesn't take all his camps. Ah, yeah, he actually does. Never mind. I mean, this is the old trick, right? Where if you have a utility jungler, let's say, I mean, utility low economy jungler, junglers that don't need that much money to survive and do their thing, like Jarvan, like kinda Sejuani, like Rammus, etc. I mean, they need some amount of HP, some amount of resist, but after like 2 items, it doesn't really matter for them that much. And wait a minute, now he actually managed to hit his W, and now he's going to perhaps die here for this. So, doing a 1v1 for supports, for a support, I am not quite certain if this was such a good trade, but well, I guess I can give him the benefit of the doubt that he believed that he can actually kill both of them. It would have been a really nice play. I can tell you that for sure. And now Blitzcrank with an Everfrost. I mean, I've never seen this before, but it actually makes a lot of sense, because the thing that you want to do as Blitzcrank is just hook enemy, and if you hook, then you're good. Then you're a good Blitzcrank, and if you don't hook, then you're not a good Blitzcrank. That's a very important distinction between a Iron player and a Challenger player. Iron player probably doesn't hit hooks, and a Challenger player does. Yeah, I explained it extremely good. And now, since Ashe is being on the mid side, on the mid lane, there is some potential that she's just going to get caught. I mean, you have got 3 items now. So you actually went for the Rage Blade. Okay, you have got 3 items as Kaisa. If you hit your W once, Ashe is dead. I mean, there isn't much to it. And wait a minute now, she actually hit her W, and now Rammus is perhaps going to catch her, and this is another death, the 9th in this game for MagiFelix. I mean, is he overextending? Maybe just Rammus is overreacting, like you don't have to punish him like that. It's very disrespectful. And wait a minute, now doing a Baron, and are they just going to give this off? I mean, Gwen does have her teleport, but she won't utilize this in this situation. I mean, I guess they just didn't want to do this. And wait a minute, now coming off with an ultimate once again. I mean, I think she actually... Oh wait, what a disrespectful way of dying! Holy moly! Using your flash into town to kill the enemy AD carry. Yeah, I mean, Rammus... Okay, I'm actually not quite certain what is going on here and who exactly is winning, but since Echo is just going in, this perhaps might be good for them, but is this Ashe going to clear them up? I'm not quite sure, since she has popped off her ghost and Blitzcrank doing an immense amount of pressure. He has used his hook already, so another 10 seconds to wait. And wait a minute, wait, you dealt that much with 1 kill? I mean, yeah, you have got 13 kills as Kaisa, so it actually makes much sense, but still, 13 kills and that much damage with 1 Q. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I'm still surprised. Okay, let me be in shock. And perhaps the enemies are going to get shocked once they find out that the Drake is spawning, and they won't be probably able to get it. I mean, Rammus is already here, but since he doesn't have a support from their teammates, I mean, Velvet is also here. Nobody is actually there, so... Wait, what is going to happen? Are they just going to push this? Are they going to go into their jungle? And he actually managed to hit with his W once again. It's just he's just a sniper. He's just an American sniper. Carzzy, holy moly, what are you doing exactly? I mean, you're sniping them. And they aren't even streaming. You're sniping them, and they aren't even from middle. And never mind, a politically incorrect joke. And wait, she managed to steal this. Okay, so this is already a 3rd Drake for the blue team. I mean, it feels... How good is this soul? This is something that I'm wondering, because there might be an occurrence in which the Velvet is going to kill this once again. And wait a minute now, Tristana jumping off to them and using his all abilities to jump... And how exactly was he able to kill him? I mean, it's 3 items. Still, it kinda doesn't make sense. Holy moly. But still, these 2 champions have got such a... Wait, flash and a flash. Okay, so this was a very nice reaction time for MagiFelix. I mean, perhaps he's just going to try to stop them, but perhaps not. And another occurrence that is happening in the jungle, a 2v2. What is happening, I'm not quite sure, but this Karma is certainly going to go down, and it actually happened. And Echo now trying to do something on the mid lane. I mean, I can tell you for sure that this Tristana is going to be a problem, because if you just avoid like W's from Kaisa, then you're Gucci. But if you don't avoid them, then as Tristana you can still use your ultimate to just jump her out of your way. I mean, just, you know, knock her out of your way, if you get what I mean. So I mean, that is something to consider. And wait a minute now, Rammus coming off with his ultimate once again, and this is Kaisa is also coming in, the double kill and perhaps the triple for him. Exactly what has happened, and Tristana with her W, and wait a minute, what has happened here? Double flash from both of the players, and Tristana just cleared them off. I mean, she has got free items, so it kinda makes sense, but it's still much. I actually have got a colleague, or a friend you might call him, or just a person that I've talked to, it doesn't really matter. My point is being that he's a Tristana one-trick pony with like 5 million mastery in like master elo. So he has played a lot of Navori Tristana, and the reason why he actually prefers Navori over damage is because he said that it feels nice to have the CDR. And I can actually kinda agree. Holy moly, a very nice arrow, and perhaps he's just going to get cleared. And yeah, when you think about this, the thing that makes Tristana incredibly viable is her Q. Because her Q just lets you detonate her bomb much faster in a much better fashion than you would have normally done that. So there is this to consider. Also, having 19 kills already and a Rabadon. How much AP do you have as Kai'Sa right now? I mean, this is 100. This is like 220 plus 40%, which means it should be around the 300 mark. Yeah, I mean, it kinda makes sense. So 300 additional damage for your W. I mean, you don't have any penetration, but still, these Ws are deadly, man. And especially since they are just coming out of nowhere. I mean, these are like intercontinental ballistic missile. You just don't see them coming until you see them, and when you see them, it's too late. I can tell you that for a fact. And wait a minute now, a teamfight going on. Kai'Sa is perhaps very much at the back, and is she... what is going on here? I'm not quite sure, but a 5v5 going on, and wait a minute now, he's going to get down! You have to be careful for this Tristana. I mean, this man is just deadly. He's absolutely deadly. Knight 9Z. I mean, I've seen these Twitter threads where where everyone just hates Tristana mid players, but honestly, I think that she's just very nice to play, like as mid lane, because I mean, even to play against her, it's sometimes tricky and complicated, but it doesn't really mean that she's that so overpowered. But yeah, I mean, I guess that overall the mage players just hate ADC players, since well, they're just getting stomped by them on the lane, because you have to have the knowledge how to play against certain matchups, and well, since you don't see AD matchups that often, you just hate on them, so it makes sense. And 3v5 situation, why are they here exactly? I'm not quite sure, but this will be perhaps a Baron for the blue team, and now Ram is just trying to get off his way. And wait a minute now, he's actually re-engaging once again, and being in the middle of the fight, he's just tanking all the damage and not letting... Wait a minute, Carzzy's Kai'Sa is actually at the back, and he's now once again trying to do certain plays, and is he perhaps going to be able to clear this Belvet up? And yeah, this is exactly what has happened, a double kill for Carzzy. Whoa! And well, Gwen is still alive, Karma is still alive, but are they just able to clear them up? I'm not quite sure, but wait a minute. At the 29th minute, you have got yourself a Baron secured, which means that, well, these roams, I mean these flanks, these situations in which you are just around the structures, sieges, exactly. So in siege situations, you're so good as Kai'Sa. She has got such an amazing sieging. With her Ws, you're just penetrating the enemy tower. I mean enemies like overall. And since they are just under tower, probably no minions can defend them. That's something to watch out for. And also, what can defend them is like another players, because they don't have tanks here. I mean, Gwen is kinda tanky, and Belvet, yeah, Belvet is also kinda tanky, but still, it's like 6 seconds that you have got on your W. So it kinda sucks, man. I gotta be honest here with you. Okay, another W coming on, and yeah, these are exactly the siege situations. He isn't quite hitting them right now, but wait, let's just look at him for a moment. 22 kills, 5 items, and he actually managed to have Aha, so he actually managed to build penetration. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And this Tristana, man, I mean, she's just so annoying. And wait a minute, Blitzcrank was trying to hook someone, but he wasn't quite able to. And now, once again, Rames has got to use his ultimate to disengage from the situation, and Velvet coming on. Carzzy being in the perfect spot, honestly. I mean, what spot more do you want in a situation like that? You're behind your allies. You're hitting them W's. You're chilling, man. I mean, life is fine. Life is wonderful. So perhaps just staying at the back of your enemies, of your allies, and just hitting these W's will be very extremely beneficial. And perhaps once you hit your W, you can just jump onto them. So yeah, and are they going to end this? What? Okay, and now a flash coming from Blitzcrank. Okay, and whoa, a very nice flash, and this perhaps will be, yeah. So if you use your W in the perfect moment, holy moly, he actually got cleared up by this Gwen. I wasn't quite expecting it, but well, there are certain things in life that you don't expect and happen anyway. So yeah, and wait a minute, they actually managed to end this game. Okay, so yeah, that was kind of surprising, but nonetheless, thank you thank you very much, guys, for watching. We see each other the next time. Goodbye.